So occasionally, yeah, okay, some soul person might pop up there, but in general, they're soulless people, right? Um, so that's one of the cool things you can think about. It's yeah, your life might suck, and you might be struggling to pay rent, and food's always an issue. You might have an EBT card. Um, this is just the shit. This is the stuff that soul people go through. It's is what it is. Like Bruce Lee was poor his whole life. Did you know that he was poor? I read that in a memoir by this woman he was sleeping with. Even when he was a celebrity, even in the height of fame, he still had like fuck all money. And the girl he was sleeping with said, I stopped sleeping with Bruce Lee. And they said, why? And he said, oh, he's just broke. He's just too broke. And she started sleeping with a rich guy. That's the ruthlessness of organic portal females. She didn't like Bruce Lee because he didn't have enough money. It's funny, man. um. So yeah, just think of it from that context. Like, if you tap into what's eternal, and you can do that every day, then that little voice in your head that always complains about shit, about things being not like, oh, I wish things were better. I wish I had a nicer thing. I wish everything was nicer. Oh, why do they have nicer things? That thing can kind of shut off. And when that thing shuts off, you feel it's good. Like, you feel all right. Like you can enjoy things. You can live in the moment and shit. You can stop being creative. You can stop being unpredictable. Right? You can become you can become innocent again. But as long as that thing's in the driver's seat, then you're always going to be unhappy, because that thing's always going to want things, and that thing's always going to be comparing itself to all the people around you, so-called people, or the kind of computer programs around you. That's the kind of spiritual war that's going on. You kind of have to learn how to switch it off. So that's one thing I want to talk about. Other thing is, most of these people are from the lower astral, man. So we have the third density, then you have the fourth density, right? In fourth density, when you go to sleep, you're in 4D, flying around and shit, talking to people, meeting celebrities and shit. And I've noticed, like, the people around me, they look like the same people from the lower astral. They look the same. And the astral's got different areas. So you have like the middle astral, you have the upper astral, and the upper astral's kind of nice. It's kind of like it's kind of swanky. But then you have the lower astral. And when people think about demons, you're thinking about the lower astral most of the time. Because I go out on Friday, Saturday, and I look around. I observe the organic portals. I observe the NPCs. I like seeing what's going on. I like watching things, and I like kind of making analysis. Like, what's going on here? And I've noticed, like, when I'm going around streets and I'm looking at the people, I'm like, oh, these people are all from they're all 4D lower astral people. And, they're just doing their thing because they're demonic. So, lower astral people, and I guess the point I'm trying to make now is that everything here is spiritual. It's not just physical, it's all spiritual. Everything here. I mean, go and watch The Weekend live, and then say that there isn't a spiritual component or a religious component to what he's doing. It's extremely spiritual, But I'm watching these people, and like, I recognize how they dress, how they look, and how they behave, and I'm like, oh, these everyone here's from the lower astral. They're all from the lower astral. Pleasure and violence. So that's a lower astral person. It's just pleasure and violence. Because in their realm, in their area, it's a real it's real harsh, man. It's a ruthless type area. It's almost like what's that film? Mad Max. It's a bit like Mad Max. It's Mad Max is that one with the Australian guy. It's kind of like Mad Max. Go look up watch a trailer of Mad Max for like 30 seconds. Don't watch the whole movie, but that's their reality. Their reality is very much like dog eat dog type shit. So they have a dog eat dog type shit. They kill each other. They have a lot of sex. That's just kind of what they're like. And they're here. So they're here. They walk around here. You just have to be perceptive of it. You have to be perceptive. And I'm watching them. I'm like, oh, these people are from the lower astral. And the thing is, if you talk to them about this shit, they'll be like, lower astral, you're crazy. What does that mean? So that's the problem here on Earth. It's another issue. I don't know if it's connected to the first issue. No, it is connected to the first issue. It's the lying here. It's the withholding the truth of how this place works. Because if you talk to them about the lower astral, they're gonna think you're insane. They're gonna think you're crazy. Because the systems here don't want people knowing this shit. The CPU it doesn't want people knowing how this shit really works, the mechanics of this place. You've got people with souls who are like super high dimension. Like we're not from the fourth dimension. We're way higher than that. And then they put you with people from the fourth dimension. And then they put you with people from the lower fourth dimension. And they don't tell anyone anything. And everyone thinks they're the same. Everyone thinks, oh yeah, we're all equal. We're all human. Some of us are black. Some of us are brown. Some of us are yellow. Some of us are fat. Some of us are skinny. That's it. Forget about anything else. And it's like, no. That stuff's superficial. Like the race thing's superficial. The race thing's superficial. It's kind of like when you see. I don't mean to be kind of rude here. I don't mean to be kind of Yeah, I don't. Fuck. I'll just say it, okay? You know when you see like a gangbang and it's like 6 black dudes and one really, really white woman with like blue eyes from like a German white family, and you're like, what's going on here? Like, how did this work? Like, what are they doing together? 5 black dudes and a Scandinavian blonde white woman with blue eyes. Now, if you think from a race perspective, you're going to be confused. But if you think from lower astral perspective, it's normal. They're just from the same realm. Right? So when you think of it from a spiritual level, it makes sense. When you think of it from a race level, it don't make sense. Because you think, like, what's your, you think, what does your father think about this? Why is your mother and father letting this happen? Right. But if you think from a spiritual level, it makes sense because they're from the same area. They're energetically the same, and they're from the same realm. And in their realm, it's just sex and violence, and they'll understand each other on a level that's beyond race. They'll understand each other on a level that's beyond class. You understand? They understand each other on a spiritual level. So that's why I'm trying to segue into that. I didn't mean to talk about pornography, but I think it's a good analogy. And that's also why you'll see these relationships as well. It goes beyond race. You know, when you see people that kind of click in together, like you might see a Chinese girl, and she's from a Chinese family. Most of her friends are Chinese. And then she links up with a guy from like Jordan, like a brown guy from Jordan, and they barely know each other. Let's just turn it back. You know, they're meeting each other in a club, and they sink into each other like they've known each other their whole lives. And you know, their friends might be watching and be like, "What's she doing with him? And what's up with their chemistry? Their chemistry is crazy." And it's the same thing. If you look at it from a race level, you're going to get confused. You're going to be like, she's from China. She's an international student. She's been there for 1 month. She barely speaks a lick of English. He's from Jordan. You know, he's crazy. He's on myth. He's a myth head. What are they doing together? But when you think from a spiritual level, they're from the lower astral, right? Vibrationally, they're a match, and on a spiritual level, they understand each other. Like their race, their culture, their family, their IQ, it doesn't matter, because on a spiritual level, they understand each other. Then everything, for me, everything makes sense now. Like when you have this type of perception, everything makes sense. It's even like these guys. Like, what are Pakistani dudes and guys from Korea playing a Japanese video game and they're all locked in? You understand? Completely different races, completely different religions, completely different customs. They look completely different, but they're locked in. They're both locked in on this video game. Why are they so... If you look at it, race and culture, what are they doing here playing this Japanese video game? But if you think of it from an energetic level, vibrational level, a spiritual level, they're from the same area. So they're from the lower astral. What do they do in the lower astral? They play video games. And I've seen that shit too. I've seen the video game centers in the lower astral, and it's like they it's similar to the ones here, right? So you can play the video games in the lower astral, and they have the big screens as well. The screens are really massive, like massive ass screens. It's the same type of shit. So stuff they do in the lower astral or the astral realm just plays out on Earth. They just do the same stuff here. It's like a direct. It's like a mirror. So these guys in the astral, they'll be doing the same thing. They'll just play video games, and they'll be competing with each other in video games. And what do they do on Earth? Same thing. You know, it's not that complicated. But here they'll have this crazy story, you know. They'll be, I picked up the game in 1996, Tekken 1, and you know, I was getting bullied, and my mom wanted me to play cricket, but I said, Mom, no, I needed to play Tekken. And then I just started dialing in on Tekken, and my studies started to go by the wayside, and I couldn't stop playing Tekken. And then, next thing I was winning on the regional circuit, and then I started competing in international tournaments, and now I'm here fighting some Korean guy. You know, they have their story, but the reality is, it's just because they play video games in Astral. They just like doing the same shit here. And that goes for pretty much everything. So, like, famous singers here, what do they do in the Astral? They sing. Famous athletes here, what do they do in the Astral? They play basketball and soccer. You understand? And when you see people on the street and shit, why are they the way they are? You know, why are some people crazy degenerates? Why are people going out and on ketamine and having MDMA orgies, and other people are bookworms? It's because of what happens in the astral. You understand? It's what they're like in the astral. And it's good to kind of learn the lower astral people, because the lower astral people, a lot of soul people will find them disgusting. You know, like if you see their behaviors, the actions, what they're like. I did mention the orgy and pornography. If you don't study the lower astral, if you don't remember what's going on there, like when you go to sleep, you go there sometimes. You know, I go there sometimes. So do you. If you don't study this stuff, you're going to get a little bit confused and shit with their behavior. You're going to be like, why are they like this? Especially when you see like interracial dating and shit, or how they date, you'll get confused. You'll see like a skinny white golf chick with tattoos and long black hair, and you see with a fat guy from Colombia. I've had this conversation, by the way, with a couple. Like, what are you guys doing? Oh, we love each other. And I'm staring at them like, You guys, you know, you don't really kind of when you think of a skinny white goth chick with tattoos, and if you know, I'm not saying this directly. I'm kind of suggesting things. And a big fat Colombian dude. You know, you guys kind of look a bit strange together. Like, this is not what I expect to see. I kind of expect to see a big fat Colombian dude with a kind of slightly overweight Colombian woman, and I kind of expect to see a pale white goth chick with tattoos who's stick thin. I kind of expect to see her with a male equivalent, you know. But somehow you two are together. But when you understand the lower astral and shit, then you can understand this stuff. They're just degenerates that love having a good time, and they're depraved. Everything here stems from what's going on in the astral. So yeah, I thought I'd do that one too. Have a good day, everyone. Sorry for talking about porn and shit like that. I just have a tendency to rant and whatnot.